Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. So I'm very excited by today's video. So as most of you will know, for a really long time I wasn't able to work due to disability. And I really wanted to try some of the monthly art subscription boxes that are out there. Now that I'm back to work and I have a little bit of disposable income, I decided I would treat myself and once a month get one of the boxes. And this is the one that I plumped for, Scrawler Box. So I'm really super excited by this. We're going to have a look at what's inside today, go through all of the material. So for those of you that don't know, Scrawler Box is a subscription box where once a month they send you a random assortment of art supplies that all work together. Have a little menu in there with what the items are. It costs £15 a month, although I think I paid £13 with a code from another YouTuber. There are plenty out there if you want to get a bit of a discount. But the price of the materials inside are always more than the cost of the box. I'm really excited to crack this open and see what's inside. So let's change camera angle and we'll open this bad boy. Okay, so here we are. So you can see the size of the box. Cross out my postage details there, but let's open this up. Oof. Take a look inside. It's quite thick on this side, so it's bouncy on this side, very full on this side. Let's have a look. So you can see here we've got hashtag Scrawler Challenge. The logo there. Oh, like this cute tiny sticker. That's very nice. This is Scrawler Zine. So this is a magazine that comes every month. It has a few things in there. So we'll come back to that because I don't want any spoilers for what we might have in our box. Actually, let's just crack right into it. I'm gonna unwrap this. Ooh, it looks like watercolours. Very fancy. So, first things, there's a sweet every week. So this week is a Luti Menthis, which I'm assuming is a mint sweet. So, as I'm still on a puree diet post-surgery, I can't have that. So I'm sure Andrew will enjoy having that, as long as it's gluten-free. Here is our sticker. So every month there's a new sticker. So this is the logo. And then the colour infill is to do with whatever the art supplies are. So this is very exciting. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Graphitint paint pan set. I actually have, I think it's a Derwent watercolour set. And this seems to match. But let's see, muted colours with graphite sheen. Includes a unique blend of graphite with colour to create subtle muted tones with a graphite sheen. So we'll open that up in just a moment. We also have Graphitint pencil as well, so I'm assuming this might be water soluble. Let's have a look. So November. So greatest landscape, blah blah blah. Derwent Graphitint paint set. 12 pounds of water-soluble paint made from a unique blend of graphite with a hint of colour. Lots of information there. Also we have Derwent Graphitint pencil. Every artist a deal for sketching with additional watercolour effects. I've also got a Langton 300 GSM watercolour pad. Oh, and the Scrawler Challenge liquid landscape. So I wonder how many sheets of paper we've got. Okay, how many sheets of paper have we got in our pad? Let's have a quick look. A5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets of very thick, can you hear that? Very thick watercolour paper. It's cold pressed as well, so that's nice. I do prefer cold pressed watercolour paper. And this is this month's artist. So every month you get a piece of artwork from an artist, and this is using the materials in the box. So this month's artist is Claudia Drexage, German artist, optician. So you can find us their Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, nice snowy landscape. Very, very nice. I'll put that up on my board somewhere. So, let's open up our box here. Nice Derwent travel watercolour box. So one thing I love with watercolour pans is you always get this this swatch of what the colours look like. Unfortunately, they don't always look like this, so it's a good idea to swatch them out yourself. I'll put that aside there. Oh, nice. Comes with a little water brush as well. Does this slide off? Or am I going to have to cut it open? Oh, cut it open. Oof. A pair of scissors. There we go. Surgical scissors from my veterinary nursing days. And are the pans individually wrapped? Oh, this is nice. So it's in two little sections which can lift out, and then 6 in each little section. They do have like a graphite, you can see how weird. It's going to be very interesting. And then of course the water brush, so we'll go and fill this up soon. Oh, that just pours out. So for those of you that haven't used water brushes before, I'm sure most of you have, this little reservoir here can fill with water, and you can press and water comes out the end. Let's loosen up those bristles. You don't have to carry a pot of water with you, you can just use this straight away and then onto the paper. Nice cleaning sponge at the side there, and a palette. Does this fit in with the lid on? Nearly. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go and fill this up with water. We can get rid of this box, and then I'll come back and we'll do some swatches of the materials that we have. Okay, so I've filled up my water brush, and you can see a little bubble in there, so nice and full. Before we start swatching these out, let's just have a look at this month's Scrawlazine. You can see these are our materials for this month. Use this pencil for adding outlines and details to your work. I'm very interested as to whether that is water soluble or not, but we'll find out in just a moment. This is a profile of the artist that created this piece. So you have a little profile of her. I'll look forward to reading that later. Ooh, tips and tricks to try with the supplies, always handy. Scrawler Galleries, this is September 2020, some of the artwork that was created with the things in that box. And some landscape inspiration, that will be handy, because I'm not actually sure what I'm going to create with this yet, but that might be a separate video, creating something with these supplies. So, okay, first things first. This swatch, as useful as it is, I'm going to put that aside and create my own. So, things rolling all over the desk. Okay. Let's move the Scrawlazine out of the way as well. There we go. Too many things. So, Daler Rowney. I like Daler Rowney. I have a few things that are Daler Rowney. So, is this perforated? Let me just check. No, it's not. So they just pull out, they're just glued at the top. That's fine. Good to know. Okay, so water brush. First of all, if we press, that little dot of water comes out. That's handy for when you are on the go. It would be handier if this actually fit in a container, but that's fine. Maybe I can take the cap off of that. Okay, so let's try with the pencil first. Oh, nice lines. It's not as black as I thought it was going to be. Actually a little bit of greyness to it. But let's just do... That's Tinkerbell in the background. You can hear moving around, the cat. Trying to stop cats moving around is almost impossible. So, let's use a bit of water. Ah, it is water soluble. Oh, that's nice. Could create some really interesting gradients with this. How far does this stretch? Oh, quite far. Oh, I like this. Okay, what if let's try classic ball. And just a little bit of shading and some heavier shading. Try a bit of cross hatching down here. We have our shadow on this side, so light on the outside, darker here. Let's try with our brush. So starting from the lightest area, so that we're not dragging over. Huh. I could see this working really well with some watercolor pencils, and I do have some watercolor pencils, so it might go in that arsenal. It does bleed a little bit. Not too bad at all. There's no white or anything in here, so it's really like any other watercolor. I would have to use a white paint pen or a Posca pen or something like that, white ink to get some highlights. But okay, so that's the pencil. Quite impressed with the pencil. Okay, so the cap doesn't post very well. That's going to fall off easily. So pop that in here. It's not that important for a cap to post, but it's nice when it does. So let's swatch these colours out. I'm going to do that down here. So we've got this one. And does that match with what we have here? So this is Autumn Brown. It's kind of like a coppery colour. I quite like. It's a nice colour. What do we have next? Next we have Russet. A little tiny bit of water. Get some of that paint. Oh, that's nice as well. I'm surprised at these colours. They are more muted than a normal watercolour. But the pigment is quite strong, even though the colour is muted. Be really nice for kind of creepy Tim Burton-y style art, which being a horror writer appeals to me quite a lot. This one is Meadow, yellow green. Let's just carry on working along the top. What do we have here? Green grey. Oh, that's very dark. I would say that is just grey. I'm not getting very much green from that. Let's just see if washing it out helps at all. No, that's just grey. Hopefully I haven't... These are all in the right order. They appear to be. So we have slate green. Oh, that's pretty. That's a really nice colour. I like that. We have ocean blue. And that's another really nice colour. And it does have, I don't know if you can see this very clearly on the camera, but it does have a bit of a graphite sheen on all of them. They just catch the light slightly, which is really nice. Okay, so next row, what do we have here? First one, steel blue. Again, that's quite grey. It is, so this one is just grey. I'm not really seeing any of the green in this. This one there is definitely more of a kind of steely grey blue tint. What's the next one? Dark indigo. Yeah, and there's definitely more of a shift to the purple hue on this. Very blue though. Okay, let's see how purple this next one is. This next one is aubergine. Oh, that's very dark. Take some of that pigment off. Let's have a look. So again, it's shifting more towards purple, as you'd expect, but that is very dark and muted. Such an interesting array of colours. I mean, obviously in any watercolour set you're going to get a good mix of colours, but these are all, they're so... I'm trying to think of what I might do with them. I think I have an idea. I'm going to make that into a separate video. So this is juniper for all you gin drinkers out there. And if gin's not your thing, maybe port is, which is this penultimate colour. Oh, this is nice. I like this one. That's a really nice colour. These two are quite similar, but this is definitely more towards the purple. This is more towards the red. You can see the colour relationship between these two. Okay, and finally we have, oh, graphite grey. Okay. Let's see if this is any different from the green grey. And yes, it's a lot more neutral, much darker as well. That blends out very nicely, look at that. Okay, so the next thing I want to test is if these will reactivate with a bit of water. So, moisten my brush. Moist. There we go. Does this reactivate? Yes, it does. Very nice. Just that on a couple of others. Okay. Let's see how well they mix together. So, I'm going to take this autumn brown. So I'm going to keep this swatch, and I might pop this into the case for reference. So, this is autumn brown, which is a nice dark red colour. I'm going to pick up some russet. Put that here. How well do these blend together? That is a very nice gradient. That works really, really well. Let's try a couple of different colours. So let's do aubergine, which is this one. Very dark purple. Let's see, what light colours do we have? Oh, slate green. That's a lighter colour. If we're going to test these, let's test them. Okay, let's see how well these blend. So I'm going to drag light colour over to the dark. Good, and then start blending the trend. Oh, that's really, really nice. Wow, okay. I'm really, really impressed with these watercolours. I'm not really a watercolour painter. I don't paint with watercolours very often. I'm going to let this dry a little bit and then go over with the pencil and see how well it layers. But I'm really, really impressed. I can see myself getting a lot of use out of this. So what do we have that is dry? Well, maybe we try it on a colour that's not dry first. Let's take this pencil. This top one I used a little bit too much well, not too much, but a little bit more water than normal. So if I, okay, and then as soon as we touch the paint, the wet part, it becomes quite slick. It becomes more like ink. You can draw over the top. Interesting. Okay. And I think this one is dry now. Yeah. So let's try. Okay, that's interesting. You see between the paper and the watercolour, maybe it's not completely dry yet, but there is definitely a difference between drawing straight on the paper and on the watercolour. And go over it a couple of times. That's really not noticeable at all, but that's a good thing to note. If I were to draw patterns on this, so on the purple, you can see that the value of the purple and the pencil are quite close. It's quite hard to see what's coming up there. Not so much on the camera, definitely in person. Okay, and then once that's done, can I then activate all of that together? Ish. So there's definitely, yeah, so the pans activate better than the pencil does. So because there's a slight difference, they don't mix as well as I thought they might. They do mix, but you can still see the pencil line. So maybe this is just for adding details before or afterwards. Be interesting with a few more tests to see what I come up with. Okay, very, very interesting. So of course I am gonna, let's just see how close the swatch here matches with what we've actually got that came in the pan. So they're not too bad. You can definitely see this is more orange, this is more green, the meadow, than the yellow that's here. The green grey, I would argue that's more grey. This is a little bit lighter. This is nice. I like this one. Steel blue, really not a start. Maybe I should go over and just put a really saturated dot on each one, just to really show. That one doesn't build up as much as I thought it would. It definitely doesn't match the slate green that's there. See, ocean blue. We can get a very deep colour with that. That's nice. Okay, steel blue. So this one looks much lighter. But yeah, there we go. All of the colours are quite pigmented. They're really, really nice. Aubergine. It's Buddy sighing in the background, our dog. That one might have been Andrew, who's over on the sofa reading a book. Port, and then finally graphite grey. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's have a proper look. Okay. Yeah, so I mean you can see here the importance of swatching out the colours, because there are definitely some differences here with this kind of papery acetate sheet compared to actual watercolour paper. So I think I will cut this out and pop it into the palette here as a reference. But I am super impressed with this, and to get a whole travel set of watercolors, I mean, whether they're the Graphitint ones or not, is super impressive. I have to have a look at how much this is actually worth, because I know that sets like this aren't cheap. So for £13 to get this with this and 6 sheets of watercolor paper as well, really good quality Daler Rowney watercolor paper. I mean, I'm definitely going to be keeping up the subscription. I'm super happy with this. So that's where we are for today. I'm going to leave it there for the actual unboxing. I'm going to give this to Andrew, and I will come back to you next time using these supplies to create a finished piece. So until next time, everyone, have a nice time and goodbye.